What up, guys and gals? Welcome to the Steep in the Stoke podcast, where we extract the goods from the grinds. Today, we are joined by none other than the Coby Kim.
What's up?
Coby.
Logan, I would like to establish that was very polished, my
That was
guy.
a great intro, dude.
Was that
That was
polished?
a great intro. Were
Perfect
you like,
practice makes perfect.
yeah.
Practice does make perfect. That's like the 7th time I've said,
What up, guys?
and
You've probably
then
been saying
I need
it in
to
your
include
sleep.
gals,
Gals.
because we got our lady listeners, and we are so thankful for you. So
Yes.
keep listening.
Well, Coby
Anyway.
Kim, how's it going, man?
Dude, it's pretty grooving. Pretty cruising and
pretty
grooving.
Great to have
Dude,
you here.
It's good seeing you.
We need to all introduce you, because we all
Oh boy.
Know you.
You were born 13 days before I was
Darn tootin'.
at Deaconess Hospital in
Darn.
Spokane, Washington. And my parents were set up by your parents. My parents met at your guys' wedding. And
Wait, dude, what?
Yeah.
That's
You
what
know
you
that?
meant earlier today?
That's
I didn't
crazy.
realize
yes,
that.
my parents
my goodness.
met at their wedding, and Mr. and
Yeah.
Mrs. Kim set them up.
Uh-huh.
Dude.
I'm
That's
basically
so cool.
responsible for him.
Yeah, you.
Technically,
You're like his
Yeah,
godfather.
you are, Coby.
your actions resulted in my being.
Well, technically, it was his parents' action.
we got to clarify a lot of things here.
Anyway,
All right. Cool.
so just go way back. We've been
We're back.
at the same school. We were at the same school since kindergarten.
Same church.
Same church,
Forever.
same stomping grounds. It's
Mhm.
been a wild ride.
We've had our moments.
We've definitely had our moments, but I'm super thankful just for God's grace and how He has preserved both of us in our
is true.
craziness and
He's good.
in friendship, and it's
Mm.
awesome. I'm super thankful for you. You're the man. And I'm
Yeah.
stoked you're here. So
Well,
Noah,
Yeah.
Full stoke tank.
Full stoke tank. Yeah, so Coby, kind of knew you in high school. You're kind of just like a guy. Like, I knew who you were,
Yeah.
but I didn't really know you until we started. We all had like our biblical doctrine group, what we've talked about, and we will continue to talk about. And there'll be many inside jokes said probably about this
there
group.
was already one.
There was already one, but that's when he kind of like
Yeah.
joined, and then I got to know him a little bit more and a lot more, and I was kind of like
Yeah.
a little iffy where we stood, but then we've become like good friends, and it's been great hanging out with you.
Okay.
Yeah, more so if he was like, am I his friend? Like, do we know? How do we know each other?
Am I
kind of,
cool
and
enough
then,
to be Coby Kim's friend?
and then,
Gosh.
but yeah, now we're homies, and it's great having him on this podcast. I'm so stoked right
now
now.
you bought a bag just like mine.
Yeah, dude, we got matching man
to-
purses.
Yep.
We're not gonna lie, what they're called.
You should buy
It's a
one. Topo
man
Mini
purse.
Quick Pack. Quick shout out. I'm so sorry.
I might do it. They honestly seem like super practical.
Dude,
I
they're
watched
amazing.
you
Danny already
Practical
got
and
some.
functional, dude.
You and Danny bought those
I
Kelty ones.
didn't get a topo one. I got a Kelty one, but it is nice, dude. I don't have to have anything in my pockets or in my hands
Dude,
ever.
so nice.
It's
They're very
it's
nice.
really nice.
It's
All right,
a-
anyway, before we get too much on a rabbit trail, Daniel.
Okay, yeah, dude. So I was trying to think about this because I was trying to remember when I like kind of got to know Coby a little bit or started hanging out with him, and it's pretty similar to what Noah said. But I have a really vivid memory.
Lego trading in the parking lot.
Yeah, maybe Lego trading in the parking lot.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking, yeah, at school we definitely did Lego trading, but I also, it was like 5th or 6th grade. I went to one of your birthday parties, and we drove home, and we had like an overnighter and watched a movie or something. No, we went and saw Prince Caspian, or no, Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
Wow.
This is crazy. I don't ever remember anything, and I remember this.
I don't know.
And then the next morning, your delightful, incredible mom made us crepes. Like, I had like 8 crepes because your mom just kept making them. It was awesome. So I have that memory of Coby and hanging out with him there. But really similar to Noah is that in our biblical doctrine group, me, Noah, Logan were originally meeting at a Starbucks with Yannick Contrition, and then
Shout out to Yannick
shout out to
Condition.
Yannick. Yeah, more to come there.
Big boy.
Um,
That's weird.
He's
But-
our coffee father.
Coffee Dad. Yeah,
Coffee Dad.
Coffee Poppy.
Coffee
Coffee
Poppy.
Poppy.
But
Poppy
Coby joined. We've been doing it for probably 3 months. And then Coby got back. Oh no, he was here. He was in high
Yeah.
school. And then Coby joined because he got
Yeah.
a biblical doctrine book, and
Yeah,
so
my
we really
grandpa-
started.
Grandpa bought it for me.
Yeah,
for
so
my
we really
birthday.
started to get to know him there,
That's awesome.
and just the like. I mean, it was just sweet to have him in, and like I didn't really know him that well, even like in those earlier years, and so really just seeing like how. Like in all of our lives, how Christ was working, and then another guy come in and just be encouraged, like, oh, there's even more people that Christ like he's working in their hearts
Yeah.
and is encouraging them to like understand doctrine, understand like what God's word says and how it applies to our lives, and so like Kobe's a huge intellectual. Like he really thinks through these
He's
things. He
a
asked a ton
smart
of really
man.
good questions during
very
biblical
smart
doctrine
guy.
that
Dude.
I had a noodle on for. Oh man,
Let
what
that
do we
bake
always
your
say?
noodle.
Yeah, let that
Let
bake
that
your
bake
noodle.
your
I had a
noodle.
lot of noodles bacon when Kobe asked questions because
You
I
have
had no
bacon
idea what was
noodles?
going on.
Bro, I need some.
Bacon noodles, dude.
It's from Matrix.
So
if you
anyways-
That's a
haven't
good
seen it.
business pitch.
Yeah, there you go.
Bacon noodles.
Anyways, that's kind of how I know Cobes. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And just biblical doctrine getting together super early. I mean, not early for you. You're
Dude, that
crazy
was still
mad early.
early.
That's true. Well, you still had to wake up at like 5.
We met
So
at 6
we met at
a.m.
6
on a
a.m.
Friday
on
morning.
Friday.
every Friday morning.
But then when we
for
started
2
doing
years.
two-
when we started doing the
years.
workouts at Yannick's place, it was like even earlier with that we had to get up because we had to
Did
drive
we?
all out to the valley.
Yeah,
This
that
is
was
true.
true.
That was more like a summertime thing, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we still met at like 6 or 6:30.
It was like 6.
That's legit.
But I mean, just that repetitive every Friday.
We were devoted.
We're doing, and it was so sweet. That was probably some of the sweetest times in high school.
Dude, it became
Yeah.
like such an intrinsic part of my routine. Like
Mhm.
I would just naturally start waking up at 5:30. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. It
Yeah.
was so incredible.
I would
Like,
give a lot for that right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Just
pretty
waking
cool.
up early. You still have it because you're a
Bro,
madman.
barely.
But
I'm holding on by a thread.
what
I'm becoming more of a night person, actually.
what kept us in those mornings was that
Like,
Joe.
The-
Was that
Joe.
coffee?
Yo, baby.
That
made us slightly
Starbucks
crazy
coffee.
at times.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it'd be like 3 things a drip in the morning. It'd just be ha Doctrine.
people,
Jesus,
me.
Bible.
I'm so happy to see you guys. And then
We get nothing read.
yeah, we would start. We would
We'd
meet.
read 2 pages. We'd be like, all right, we're gonna read 20 pages today, and we get through 1 and just like rant, digress,
Well-
rabbit trail the whole hour and a half we were there.
Well, we
but it was
beautiful.
the best.
We
It
wouldn't
was
start
awesome.
until like 45 minutes. in.
Right.
That's because
Yeah.
that's when Logan showed up.
Ooh, those are some shots fired. I'm Mr. Late. And
Smoking.
It's really
The gun is
sad.
smoking.
No,
But anyway, just that coffee being, I mean,
there for us.
there for us,
Right.
and Yannick providing that, and that's what we're
Coffee
gonna
poppy.
talk about today. We are here to talk about coffee for the
Coffee.
geek, the practical, and those who couldn't care less.
Right.
Honestly,
Couldn't. care
couldn't.
less.
It's not could. Grammar Nazi. I'm just kidding.
Dude,
Um,
that's awesome though, and I think what's super awesome about this topic is that like it really encompasses so many people across the board.
Yeah.
And it hits so many people in different places of life, but also like the 3 of you especially are like hugely into it. You guys have your own like special way to do drips, and you buy really good, high quality, good coffee, and
We got our setups.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. It's pretty sweet, but there's like a history behind it. There's like a history behind coffee. I don't
Serious
really know it
history.
that well.
Dude, there's a
but
solid history.
someone was
behind
gonna share about that, but you guys were talking about it earlier, and it was fascinating to me. So like, what is that? Walk us through that.
Cool. I think the way to put it succinct and not to belabor a lot of the history is that it's been around for a long time. Specifically in Africa, becoming a commodity in Europe. The Ethiopians, they did it right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All those high elevation African countries, they're who we think because
Hmm.
that's where it's from.
They grow
But
some
It actually
dank
comes
beans.
from. They come from cherries.
Cherries.
It's a coffee cherry.
Yeah,
It's basically a fruit seed. You're eating ground up burnt fruit seeds.
it is a salad.
I drink a
Wow.
salad every morning, man.
It's a juice. It's a juice.
I'm so
because
healthy.
it's- Yes, it's a juice.
I don't know if it's a juice.
Dude, that's interesting though. Like I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah,
it was
it's a
I thought it was
cherry.
just like a bean that grew like a legume or something like that.
No.
But it's not. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really not a bean. It's more of a seed, actually.
Huh.
Yes.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So
kinda
it's like
whack.
a cherry pit, but a little
Yeah.
bit different.
Yeah,
So
the split cherry pit.
Yeah, but then there was like a transition though, like right, because it started really nicely up in like these kind of rural areas, and it was like nice,
Yeah.
really well made, and then people saw it as kind of a commodity, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
and it I mean, it's been in America for a long time, but it became a really common household thing, specifically during the World Wars,
Mhm.
because it would just be shipped in large quantities, especially when mass production was starting to really take off.
Industrialization, yeah.
Industrialization, taking off in the U.S. Things like Folgers. I don't know if it was around back then. I'm pretty sure that's what supplied World War II coffee.
It's been
was-
around for a while.
Was Folgers, and
Yeah.
just
Even-
mass produced, not crazy high quality, but it had the caffeine and it got
Even-
people going.
Even in the gold rush.
Yeah, even in the gold
out
rush,
West,
Yeah.
Cowboy coffee.
cowboy coffee. So it's been around for a really long time. There was kind of a newer wave in late 90s, early 2000s when a lot of these coffee lovers started to think of, okay, what can we do to make this like higher quality? And seeing a lot of the espresso practices from Europe, bringing that to the U.S. That's really Starbucks is the big example of that.
So this would be kind of like second wave coffee, because first wave coffee is more so like
the mass industrialization, big production, just
and then,
simple.
Yeah, and then second wave would be kind of the more commercial side of it, where people are would that kind of fall
where the quality is increasing, but it's still kind of for profit purposes.
It's still mostly for profit, and then we get in kind of this 2000 between like probably 2005 and 2010.
2000 and now.
2000 and now,
Well,
we get a lot of what they're called third wave coffee, and that is specialty coffee. So they roast their coffee in small batches. Do something called direct trade, which is have fair trade, either one.
Lots of that kind of stuff.
But just direct contact with the farmers, establishing relationships, getting all their beans from a same place. So Folgers, where you could be drinking a pot of coffee with a bean from like Mexico and Guatemala and like Indonesia, you can be going into a fancy shop, ordering a pour over from one specific farm,
one specific lot.
So that's where we get like
a lot of trees,
like
one
the single
square
origins and
foot
stuff.
of
Maybe too specific,
maybe a little
but
too small.
honestly close, very close.
But
that would be cool.
I mean, you can go to Africa and
Dude,
they'll
let's do
roast
it.
over the fire beans from one specific tree.
Yeah,
And it's just the best.
and that'd be considered like the single origins, where it all comes from the one
all
place.
comes from the same place. And so that's kind of what became a big thing.
and
It was more so a coffee as like an art instead of just a drink.
well, a lot of
right.
it,
Well, the idea of artisan coffee, it comes from this range of 2000 to 2000 and now, right, where people are making it more of a something with really good taste and with really good health qualities, antioxidants, really good nutrients, as opposed to just seeing burnt caffeine boost for the day, right?
and
Exactly.
a lot of it came out of like an actually like an ethical standpoint from like the environmentalism that kind of popped out from the like early thousands, because they realized like a lot of these workers, they were like making terrible
Absolutely
wages
nothing. Yeah.
Dang.
and just being treated like just not well. They weren't able to provide for their families, and they realized, this is kind of like a very colonialist thing to do, to just kind of outsource our coffee and not care about these other people, and realize like they're people, they have lives, they have families.
Yeah.
And so there's been like this push towards, let's actually like create fair wages for these people, so
Make
that
it worth
they
people's
can,
while to cultivate this resource.
so that we're not just abusing other people in foreign countries,
100%. And that's
which is legit. That's like good stuff.
It's so sweet.
Caring
It's a
for other
super
people.
cool ministry opportunity too, with like a lot of those Christian roasters. And kind of the thing with that is some of that turns people away, because I'll go spend like $15-20 on 12 ounces of whole bean coffee.
340 grams.
Yeah, and then my mom will come home with like a $6 2-pound bag from Costco, and I mean the cost is much different, but a lot of that has to do with that direct trade of paying. But that's really what third wave coffee is. It's that combination of science of like, here's what we can do, here's how to get the perfect cup, that art of like, here's how we can present it beautifully, with latte espresso skills, and
Local and ethical.
yeah, it's super cool. And so
I think like with that is like kind of, we're talking about like how there's the different ways of making coffee, like kind of each to their own, like with the title, like there's the ones who enjoy the more artistic style and the science style, so the better coffee, which we would consider. But then there's also those that fine with that little just pot of Folgers that they don't really care where it comes from and just that caffeine booster. So
Mhm.
Right. You guys each kind of have your own ritual for your coffee making, though, right? Like,
Yeah, we
like,
do.
Like it's super cool because like I'm clearly not as much into this as you guys are, but it's really fun each time I like, especially Logan when I come over here for you to do your little pour over, and the coffee tastes so much different than anything I've ever tasted. Like, guys, give like a brief walkthrough of like how you kind of do your little coffee thing. And I know we can't see anything, but if you can kind of describe it, use imagery, show us in an artistic way. I don't know, like what's kind of your process for this
Right
delicious
on.
coffee you love?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Coby, you want to
with-
start?
yeah.
Let's
Start
start
with
with
the
you.
guest.
Well, I like to do the pour over. Generally, there's a lot of pour over methods.
Mm-hmm.
V60, Collier Wave, AeroPress,
Clever Dripper's a new one.
Mirror Porigami.
Mirror
Shout out Mirror.
Porigami.
Brian
Yes, sir.
Pepe, if you're listening.
Yes.
Sponsor us.
Coffee
We
Poppy.
have a new trailer out for our podcast. Just a little video I made the other week. And it's using that Mirror Porigami. So that's technically called a pour over. But
Yeah.
yes, continue.
So there's a pour over, which literally means you're just pouring fresh water over coffee grounds. So there's like three.
That you manually ground up.
Yeah, use a grinder. Grind size matters because it matters how much you extract. It makes
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. What kind of a grind size are you looking for a pour over?
like a medium. It's
Medium.
usually right in the middle, and
Like
it really
a kosher
depends.
salt, but like a little more.
Yeah, man. It really
Yes.
depends on what you're using, because
Mhm.
like Chemex and Collier use a little coarser, whereas
Mhm.
like AeroPress is a lot finer.
Mm-hmm.
V62 is not as fine as Aero, but it's pretty crazy how like all these little things, all these little tiny,
The science.
I have no clue what you said, but that sounds really cool. That sounds awesome.
Science.
And
Break it
that's
down.
I
That's-
could explain more, but I don't want to because it's pretty nerdy.
No,
So
that's
tell
good.
us-
Cool. The pour over though. Yeah.
Tell us
yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit about your espresso. You have a job. You are a
Yeah.
barista. Explain
Yeah.
a little bit of that.
I'm
Or is
in
it
my
baristo?
Barista.
Is it baristo for
It's
a
a
guy?
barista.
It's still barista.
Barista,
all right,
bro.
my bad.
Barista. Bro.
Good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, sorry.
So
Go ahead, Copes.
I'm at my second shop for the summer. Well, not for the summer. It's my second shop at Evans Brothers
Okay.
Coffee, Coeur d'Alene. They're started up in Sandpoint. So I've been working there this summer, and I started down at Trophy Coffee down in Santa Clarita, California. Got my first job there, and that kind of opened like this new door to espresso, which I never really enjoyed. I was mainly just doing pour overs and drip coffee,
Mm-hmm.
which to those who don't know, it's just like much more dilute than espresso. Espresso is really concentrated.
Mm-hmm.
And before I just kind of thought like espresso is just kind of this weird, like very powerful, punchy coffee that's kind of gross.
That you just like adulterate
Purely
with
take
milk or
it.
Yeah,
whatever.
you basically you should put milk in it
Adulterate.
because it's bitter.
Yeah.
Which at first is true. You know, for a lot of people who have a espresso for the first time, it's like this is gross. Which I was there my first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. No, I feel
But-
you on that one.
Yeah, yeah, most people who like don't work in a shop or don't go to one consistently day after day, like don't really have espresso consistently. So I started having espresso, and it just opens like this whole new world of coffee. It's much different because everything's like so compact and like punchy. It's like a body of Axe. It's like a can of
Oof.
Axe. Yeah, like spraying Axe up your nose. It's like boom.
Put in your mouth.
Yeah, but in your mouth.
Coffee.
And the thing about espresso, if it's really bad, it's terrible. But if it's really good, oh, life changing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Straight up.
Dude,
I really-
that imagery really spoke to me right there.
can
Thank
of
you.
Axe up your nose.
Thank you. That really did.
Put it in
I'm
your
like, I
mouth.
need to go try espresso now because I have no idea what a can of Axe on my nose smells or feels like. But
Dude,
You
quick,
can imagine.
that would be quite the thing to experience right there.
quick bit about the imagery. There's a video from Propaganda.
Shout out to Propaganda.
That is, if coffee were a man,
It's on YouTube.
everyone go watch it. It
It's
is
amazing.
really,
It's like
really good.
incredibly well made.
We will link
spoken
it.
word poetry. It's
We will link it in the description, but you need to go watch it.
And what's so sweet about it is it just gives a imagery of like what coffee is. It talks about the grind, the history, and everything, and compares it to
What it is
man.
now, yeah,
Yeah.
and human beings, yeah. Oh man,
It's very cool.
Logan just showed it to us like 25 minutes
Well,
ago.
Kobe
and
had
I
showed
was,
it to me at some point too.
Right.
So
Oh, it was
The
so-
more
it's
you know
very
about
good.
coffee, the more like the cooler it is. But even if you don't,
Right,
like it's still
still
so
good.
beautiful.
right. And I'm
Yeah.
totally in that boat. I was totally in that boat, and I was like, well, I'm not super into coffee. Am I gonna enjoy this? And I mean, just an incredible linguist and putting it together with the rhythm. I was blown away. It's so good. Go watch it, please.
Right on.
Please.
Noah, next. Tell
All
us your morning ritual.
So I'm going to talk about the presses here. So I use a little bit of French press and a little bit of AeroPress. Kind of depends on how fast I need to get out my door in the morning. So
Right
well
on.
stated. Well stated.
French press takes a little bit longer. So it is pretty much, it's like a canister with a lid and then a filter that you push
A mesh
down.
filter,
A
yeah.
mesh filter that you push down. So how it works is I take my coffee, I heat my water up, and I put a scoop of coffee in there, and then I pour a little bit of water in there and let it sit for like 30 seconds. I let it bloom, so
Yep.
kind of getting that flavor
Gotta
going.
love that bloom.
Get
Gotta
it, get
love
that
that
flavor.
The
in.
bubbles.
Yeah, so I
I
let
love
it
the
bloom for
bubbles.
like 30 seconds. And you do like the same usually for pour
Yep,
overs.
30 seconds.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so 30 seconds, let it bloom, and then I kind of fill it up to where I'm gonna have my cup. So like typically like I do 1 scoop for a full maybe like 16 ounce cup, and then a little bit more.
Yep.
It kind of depends on like what kind of French press or what you're using. You kind of mess around a little bit with it, and then I'll let it sit for like 6.5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then you push down the plunge and you get your coffee, and it's pretty good. You typically want to use a little bit of a coarser grind.
Yes.
I don't have a grinder right now. I'm planning on buying one soon because I'm moving in with some guys, so we're gonna get a grinder
Sharing
and
is caring.
scale. Yeah, so I want to share it around. I don't want to just buy it for myself. So
Right on.
that's typically how that one works. And then AeroPress kind of works the same way. It's like another cylinder. It's kind of like a syringe, like a big syringe. So you put like
That's
a,
literally
that
what
is
it
very
is.
accurate.
yeah, you like
It's a filtered syringe.
it's a filtered syringe. So you put a scoop in there, and then this is like the quick one. So you just pour some water in there, just a little bit, and then you stir it around for like 10 seconds, and then you push that one down. It has like another thing like how the French press does, where you got to push it down, and it gets like a really concentrated thing of coffee. It's kind of like an espresso almost.
Yeah, it's more similar to espresso than,
Yeah.
say, a French press, but
Yeah.
it's not
It's a
quite
little
the
higher
same.
ratio.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Espresso is like 1 to 2 coffee to water, and Arrow, at least that kind of Arrow, is like 1 to 5.
Yeah,
But then you dilute it.
yeah. Then you
Mhm.
dilute it, and it's called Americano, where you fill it up with water.
Yep.
And it doesn't ruin the flavor because of the way of how concentrated it is from the syringe,
Yep.
where
Mhm.
it doesn't mess with it, the flavor too much.
Dude, you guys are blowing my mind. I haven't never really like. I actually have not talked with you guys about this stuff. Just
You want to
even
have your
us.
mind blown even more.
This is really cool. Like that was a really simple way of like explaining how his thing worked, and then like the 5-to-1, 2-to-1 ratio. Like I didn't realize that's what it was for coffee to
Yeah.
water. Dude, this is crazy. Someone just told me I'm about to get my mind blown even
yeah,
more.
you
What
know the difference between
what is
like,
this?
So there's like 2 different camps of brewing coffee. So we have 2. We have the pour over and French press.
Mm-hmm.
Pour over is a percolation, which is a lot more common. Then there's immersion, which is French press.
Yeah.
Basically, the only difference is like the water that is brewing the coffee. With percolation, you have constant fresh water being poured over.
Okay.
So it's like
passes
it's
through.
yeah. So it's able to basically draw more out.
Okay.
Whereas with like a French press, because it's percolation, basically the longer it brews.
Or immersion.
No, immersion. Sorry, French press is immersion. That as coffee brews more, the water becomes less water, more coffee.
Right.
So basically, like towards the end of your brew,
And that's why
You're
you're saying you
brewing-
have that 5-to-1 ratio because
Well,
it's
not
so
necessarily.
coffee, not
they're just
no water.
different. So the French press, it's like towards the end of your brew, you're brewing coffee with coffee.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you can't let it like sit too long, or else it gets kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of.
But explain the ratio a little bit more to the people. So like 5-to-1. So is it like
Yeah.
ounces or
yeah.
is it?
So we usually do metric mass in coffee because science. But yeah, a pour over like normal drip coffee, like black coffee, is like 1 to 10. So you got like one part coffee to 10 parts water, or the total like drink you have,
Mm-hmm.
and that can go all the way up to usually like 16 or 17.
Oh dang.
Much higher it becomes really dilute.
Yeah,
and
yeah. That
then-
sounds great.
Yeah, then you like usually there isn't really anything in between just because it's so weird. And then you have espresso, which is usually like 1 to 2, so it's really concentrated. So it's got like a lot of coffee per water.
Mm-hmm.
And those are kind of like the main two camps of coffee.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Cool. And Lugs, what do you do? Is yours pretty similar? Or
My ritual is pretty straightforward. So that's actually not true. It's not straightforward. I get
It's
into
very complicated.
the grams, the grams
Yes, sir.
of coffee. So
Let's talk about
I-
weight, y'all.
I wake up. Jeez,
That was great. That was awesome.
awesome. So I wake up in the morning. I go over to my scale. I grab my beans. I drop
Your coffee scale, not your
my coffee scale.
weight scale.
Your
my
body
coffee
scale.
Just to clarify for listeners, because Noah did geniusly throw us off a little bit right there. I was a little confused. Sorry, go ahead.
Sweet. So I weigh out my coffee to the exact amount I want. I go to my grinder. I grind it up. I heat my water with my electric kettle.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Got that fellow stack.
Oh yeah, I got that fellow stack.
You gotta use it.
Beautiful.
What's that? What's a fellow stack?
It's a
just
really
It's
expensive
a
kettle.
stupidly high-end skittle.
Skittle.
It's a skittle. That is
I use Skittles.
It was a poor choice of purchase.
Pour.
I'm super.
I see what you did there.
It,
Or P-O-U-R or P-O-O-R.
I
We
got
will
it.
never know.
I
What's
got
the
it
difference?
originally to just have in like my dorm so that people would actually want to come in because they're like, oh, he's a fellow stag.
He's
I
so
want to go get his
cool."
coffee.
Because I definitely know what that is.
Dude, the people that do kind of flip about it. So that's kind of why I bought it.
Cool.
But it didn't even end up happening, so I just have it in my room.
Nice.
So
It is really
Um,
nice.
it's a pretty sweet
It's
looking
very
kettle.
nice.
And so I just do my pour over with my Harrow V60 pour over. That's just the name of the pour over, and it is just a cylinder that's
Conical.
a conical cylinder, not cylinder, conical. Thank you. It's a cone. You're very helpful, Coby. Thank you. It's a cone that is used to be the pour over. That's my ritual, and
Be
I
the
like
pour
it.
over.
And I like using my my Yerga Chef coffee.
Kobe's dying over here. Just that's the wheezing in the background you guys hear.
I'm so sorry.
You,
Conical cylinder
you-
really had me.
Sorry, that totally does not make sense. But
I got what you're saying.
Anyway.
It's just a cylinder. It's just something you pour it into, right? Or
it is
through.
It's
I'm
the
so
pour.
sorry.
It's
Yeah.
what I pour it through.
Yeah,
and then
cool.
I just use my filters, and
You got a
I
nice
enjoy
cup of
it,
coffee.
and it's great.
Yeah,
Daniel, your ritual is a little bit different.
Dude, yeah.
Explain your ritual,
Explain.
and then
Yeah,
we'll get
my-
into it.
Explain this ritual of
Yeah,
yours.
mine's so different. So like I don't have any of any of this super cool stuff, which maybe I need to. I think
No.
after tonight I might be persuaded to change
Oh,
that.
Don't
Dude,
waste your money.
but-
Don't waste your money.
Yeah, it's a
Keep
lot of
you
money.
doing what you're doing.
Okay.
Poor.
All right. Okay,
We need
never mind.
people
mind.
that don't
Poor.
care that much.
All right,
Poor.
sweet. So yeah, so I mean the kind of the main place where I drink coffee, I have coffee like probably once or twice every 2 weeks. Which
Wow.
I think to a lot of people is
Props
like
you,
lame.
bro.
Yeah, I know, but it's like I see like some people in my life, some role models who like drink coffee all the time, and when they don't have it, it just like wrecks them. They just get headaches. They like their body goes into withdrawals because your body puts up a tolerance to it. And like, so I have coffee like when I really, really need it to give me the up that I need, but not to the point where if I don't have it, then I have some sort of a physical attachment withdrawal from it. So
That's good.
anyways, that's just
Right on.
that's my coffee.
Not addicted, man.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so the place normally that I have coffee with people is or I guess that's it. I have coffee like just with other people. So I go to normally it's Starbucks. Actually, a lot of times it's Vessel Coffee Roasters. I think we're going to talk
Shout
later
out
about our
Spokane.
favorite places to go, and Vessel for sure is one. Just for pretty good coffee. But also
Yeah.
just to be with
They got
people.
good coffee.
Exactly.
Like I mean,
They got nice plants too.
like last week I
You do
met
have nice plants.
I got coffee with two guys at Vessel, and then we just walked around a park that's really close to it. But for me, it's just it's like a social thing. It's how to get together with people. It's how to fellowship with other believers. I mean, we've talked about biblical doctrine already, and that's
It's a very good reason to
Yeah.
drink coffee.
and the other thing with people with biblical doctrine too is that like we went to the same place over and over again. So we started building relationships with the people who were working there, and they had the same shift every Friday, and so we like your routines really dictate how if you're and how you're reaching out to other people, as well as the people who you're
meeting
up with, right?
Yeah.
Routines
So
dictate
yeah, I guess
relationships.
that's kind of my like coffee ritual, is that it's just normally it's meeting with other people and enjoying it with other people. Which actually, guys, I don't think I've ever told you this before, but I actually really, really disliked coffee at the beginning of biblical doctrine.
Dude,
Oh, really?
And
Did
I
you
was
really,
so-
bro?
And you guys probably can tell.
I think I knew that,
Probably
yeah.
can tell.
Yeah, I
And,
wouldn't
like,
blame you, bro.
I had such a hard time, but I'm so insecure. I'm such a people pleaser.
You
Like,
just
I
drank it.
I had to just squeeze through like the coffee, and half the time most of the time I only got halfway through. But
and
I
then
got
you give
to
it to
the,
me.
but- yeah, and I give it to Noah, and then I give it to Noah. It was perfect, yeah. But I got
Worked out for
I
me.
got to the point where I didn't. It was just the heat that I hated, but like the taste was tolerable, and it was really helpful on Friday mornings to give me that up, and it was
6
perfect.
o'clock
And
AM.
so like,
Well, it doesn't help
I
that.
mean, it was great.
Doesn't help that Starbucks is
Monologue
also
over.
$4, so
Charred bucks.
or the
So-
$5. But no, that's what's
True.
nice
Yeah.
about like kind of
Good
the
one.
second and third wave coffee like places is that how it kind of turned to shops, and we have all these
Nice.
coffee shops where they're fun to go with people. It's a great place to commune and to hang out.
Do
with-
homework.
To
do
and
homework.
study. Oh
so
man,
like good
yeah.
studying places, good time to meet with the bros. Like I've had many of
Yeah.
like groups meet. I meet Thursday mornings with a couple of guys from our youth group, and
Mhm.
we used to go to Vessel, but they're kind of not doing sit down right now, so we're kind of switched over to Indaba right now.
Nice.
So they're great places to commune and to hang out with
Mhm.
people. It's almost kind of like the bar, but with no alcohol. It's the coffee shop.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Kind
and
of-
it's perfect too because you make a purchase and you can be there as long as you want,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you can just chill and you can hang out and you can. I mean, tons of people are walking through coffee shops, so like opportunities to love on people. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I think the similar comparison is that's the biblical argument for why mealtime and having people over for dinner, it's really the same thing in the AM with coffee. It's like just like you would get together with people at night, have like s'mores around a campfire, late into the night have talks with your friends. It's the same thing in the morning with
Dude,
coffee.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Isn't? Yeah, I like it.
Bro.
I thought of it earlier
Yeah,
and I was like,
solid.
s'mores
Logs.
and coffee.
Smart toy noise.
Yes. So basically that's kind of what it's about. I mean, you could be a nerd about it, you can be super particular and pretentious, or you can just be I'm gonna just drink it. Or you
Rank it.
can hate it.
And get some tea there.
Maybe, or just get some tea or hot cocoa if you're weird.
Ooh.
But
If you're one of
Hey,
those
dude,
not
people.
weird, not weird.
Great.
Dude,
Some
hot
tea
cocos
are
Slap,
bomb.
baby.
dude.
Hot cocoa is pretty fire.
Honest,
I
especially
retract my comment about hot cocoa. I
Yeah,
really
bro.
like it.
It's-
If you
Especially
like
a lot
hot
of-
cocoa, you're cool.
a lot of coffee shops are using like really high quality chocolate powder. So now
Dude,
hot
add
chocolates are really made.
add
Coffee is also a isn't chocolate technically like
Cacao, it's a seed.
it's a
seed.
A
isn't it
bean?
a cherry seed though?
No,
I
it's
think it's a
slightly
bean. It comes from a giant bean.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's
You're
like a
right. You're
giant-
right.
It's like a
Art-
giant pod, and then
Yeah, it's a pod.
yeah.
Something like
Gotcha.
All right,
But
guys,
dude-
to continue the tangent, the best hot chocolate you will ever
that. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
have.
He's
And
making
I am-
some
I
high
am
claims right
standing-
now.
I am standing by this claim.
High
How much
claims.
money
Because you
wagering?
will not get a third of the way through this hot chocolate before you have to pass it to someone else because it's just so rich and so
Is
delicious.
it drinking chocolate? Because that's not fair.
It is in Belgium.
Oh.
It is
Oh,
in Brussels.
Oh.
Oh,
It is.
dude.
I could not tell you the name of it. It's in there. It's in one of the big giant malls.
Okay.
I can maybe take you back to it, but it is the richest, strongest, just like so good. Okay. Yeah,
Okay, you're
that's
making
it.
me want to like really have this right now.
Dude, I want some hot cocoa. We should watch the show and have some cocoa tonight
For sure.
Nice.
for sure.
All right. So all that to say, like coffee is just it's a community thing. I think I've had some of
Mhm.
my like not only like most encouraging but also like my toughest conversations
Yeah.
with coffee.
Yeah.
It's
That's true,
It's
yeah.
just like having people over for dinner, but in the morning. And that's
It's
what's so
also-
sweet about it.
It's
So
also a passion.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
us,
you can
like me.
you can be
I'm making my money making coffee.
Yeah.
and I love it.
it can be a hobby. It can be something you don't even care about, but it's a valuable thing. It's pretty
Mhm.
cool.
It is versatile.
I mean, you always have to watch out for idolatry,
Yeah.
and when it's getting in the way of other things, when you have too much of a dependence on it.
Yep.
'Cause that's the thing.
That
that
is a
is.
thing.
I've suffered from it.
Yeah.
You should probably have a meeting, like a Coffeeholics Anonymous meeting. They're like, okay, how many days have you gone
Gonna
without
2 days.
coffee?
I've gone a couple hours.
Got a couple days of really bad headaches.
I cut down from 5 cups to 1 cup.
Right on. But I mean, it's just like anything.
Yep.
Like you can have a
Good things go bad.
good things can go bad.
Mhm.
But it's a sweet thing that God's provided,
Mhm.
and it's pretty sweet to use.
We can use it for kingdom purposes.
Yeah,
Good
for
ways.
waking up in the morning,
To minister to those dudes.
getting those junior hires wired in the morning so
Oh,
they're
gosh.
focused and ready to hear.
They wouldn't be focused.
Focus and ready.
Yeah.
or
Keyword,
not, but
focus.
How about us? How about us as seniors in high school and then freshmen in college
Yes.
and trying to focus without coffee? Like it was our savior.
Yeah, it can
Lowercase s savior.
Lowercase.
it can be very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well, guys, what are actually what are some of our favorite like coffee places? It doesn't have to be in Spokane. It can be all over. Types of coffee.
shops,
Bro.
roasters,
Right.
and let's
Sue
Brands,
shops.
brews.
Sue shops.
shops and
Let's do shops.
whatever.
Noah, what's your favorite shop?
All right. So I think I have a few favorite shops.
Okay.
I think can we do 3? Is 3
Sure.
okay?
Three's
Just as
the magic
many as you
number.
want.
All right. So one of my favorite shops is really close to my house that I've lived by.
That's the best.
Is Vessel Coffee Roasters.
Mhm.
And I love
Bomb.
that place. I've gone there a lot. So I've met with a lot of people there. It's pretty great.
They had a chocolate basil americano like
Dude, yeah.
2 summers
It's
ago.
some fire
That thing
stuff.
was amazing.
Apparently, also I do this weird thing with my words where I tack on S's to the end. So sometimes I call it vessels, but it's
You
really just-
definitely call it vessels. It's awesome.
It's Vessel Coffee Roaster. All right. And I think my second favorite place is I really like Indaba.
Mhm.
For some reason, Spokane has an exorbitant amount of Indabas.
Yeah.
It's because they're from here.
Yeah, there's like 5 all within a 2-mile radius.
It's hilarious. You
It's
go
pretty-
downtown.
It is kind of cool. Yeah.
They
There's one of
compete with themselves.
yeah, it's like
Dude, it's
it's like a
crazy.
3-block walk to the next Indaba, and there's 5 of them. It's ridiculous, but
Spokane.
they make some great stuff. If I'm feeling super fancy, like really really fancy and kind of white girlish, I go for like this lemon lavender latte with oat milk. It's pretty good.
That actually sounds pretty bomb.
Dude,
Yeah, it's pretty bomb.
oat milk is awesome.
Oat milk is
Oat milk is the goat.
the
milk.
goat. Yeah.
Just clearly, oats make milk.
Yeah, dude, that's the hardest part about being vegan is you have to wake up and milk the almonds. And then my third favorite place is Evans Brothers.
What? What just happened?
I like Evan Brothers a lot. That's out in Sandpoint. Coby works at the one. I'm just gonna try to blow past
Dude,
this.
Noah just didn't even skip a beat. That was beautiful. I aspire to that. That was awesome. He didn't even skip a beat. That was so awesome.
Yeah,
Okay, keep
Anyway,
going. Evans Brothers.
Evans
Nice.
Brothers in Sandpoint before they moved on over to Idaho.
They got multiple
Or
locations. Yeah.
They have one in Sandpoint, and then
Sandpoint,
Coby works at one in
Coeur
Coeur
d'Alene.
d'Alene, and they make some pretty bomb stuff.
Yep. Got one in
Um,
Spokane too.
Yeah, we got that one's like, it's good coffee, but it's just not like a cool sit down place. It's more
They
also
haven't-
like a cafeteria.
Yeah, they haven't been established very well. Give
Yeah.
it time.
So
Give it
I like the Sandpoint a lot because that one's like kind of
Yes.
just cozy and it's pretty chill.
That one's sick.
Yeah, that one's dope. So yeah, those are kind of I think of my 3
Nice.
main favorite coffee places.
Lokes, what about you?
I was just thinking about this. I could say all the ones you just said, and it'd be saying the same thing. So I'll add some more. Those are all great.
Well, you
All
know,
those-
you know
all
some
those
ones in some
and-
weird places.
I do know someone's in some weird places.
Dude, you know some like tight little
give-
hole in the wall.
I'll
ones.
give 3.
'Kay.
The one closest to my home is Rebel 77.
That was
and,
place is
um,
good.
Shout out to Sean.
Yeah, they're awesome, and they have the, I think Katie Blum.
Yep.
She's like rated the best barista in Spokane.
Yeah.
Like for a few years, she is incredibly
Wow.
good at what she does.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she the
so
one that like jumped around different coffee shops for a little bit, or no? That's
No, she's been there for a while.
she
Okay,
worked
cool.
at Spaceman.
Does it still exists?
No, it closed. But
Sad day.
anyway, so she's like they're super good. It's really really good coffee.
they
They
have some
they
good stuff.
supply they use Doma and Olympia coffee
Mm.
roasters, and those are both
Something else, and there's
Great
usually
roasters.
something else on
yeah.
rotation.
So they usually bring in some other
Some really cool stuff.
really cool places.
Yeah.
So Rebel 77, I'll do 2 international ones.
Ooh,
Pergamino Cafe
Yeah,
outside of
boy,
the
let's
Vatican
go.
in Rome.
Dude.
When we were
Oh, man.
when Coby and I were
Take
in
me back, bro. Take me back.
in Europe 2 years ago today, we were like literally 2 years ago this day, we were swimming in the Mediterranean
Oh,
in Greece.
dang dog.
It was incredible. Take us back.
I'm gonna cry.
But so that coffee shop outside the Vatican, they were phenomenal.
Mhm.
So they
They're a multi roaster.
they sold the
Gardelli.
Gardelli, which is like they've been rated some of the best
Yeah.
coffee.
One of the world's
In the
best.
world.
One of the
Dang.
world's best roasters.
Like one of their beans that they sold, that was a world winner one year, was like $90 for a bag. It was like
for like
ridiculous.
250 grams,
Yes,
which is like half a pound.
not much.
It's a lot of money for
a
them.
lot of
beans.
money.
No.
So
That's like $100 US.
that's a lot. It was nuts. And
Yeah.
so they basically when they ground their coffee, what blew my mind is when they ground their coffee, they would like show you. Like they
Really?
yeah,
I don't remember
well I
this.
remember being brought and shown the roast. They
Really?
yeah, they're like, "Do you like?" And
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Holy cow, this is
You're like,
nuts."
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
And their prices are cheap.
Yeah,
Except
was
their
awesome.
beans.
Coffee, that's true. Coffee in Europe is so much cheaper than here in the US.
it is pretty
That's a
insane.
fact. But besides the point.
And then one other in Prague.
Ooh.
I went to a coffee shop called Emma Coffee Bar, I'm pretty sure. And I had
Nice.
what I think was the best Americano of my
Dang.
life, not even in
dang.
America. And that's awesome. So it was so good. I brought some coffee home
Way to roast
and
the US.
roast the
Roast the
US.
U.S.
So
I'm
that
all
was
these
phenomenal.
Puns are
Kobe?
so good.
Your
All right.
turn.
Okay.
Give it to us, bro.
Local shops. Look, recently I've really been digging Ladder Coffee.
Dude, Ladder's so tight. It's like right
Yeah.
next to that super sick plant store too. That's like
yeah,
right next
so they
door.
got a location downtown Spokane. They got one out in the valley. They're building one up north.
Wait, they
too.
have one in the valley?
Yeah.
Where in the valley is it?
It's on Division.
Okay.
Yeah. Or not Division. Sorry, Sprague.
Sprague. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'll have to check them out then.
Yeah, so that's a cool local one. The shop that I work down at my school, Trophy Coffee, super legit. Something unique that they do that not a lot of shops do is they only have one size for each drink,
Ooh.
based on just an understanding and a belief that coffee really should only be like a certain size.
Is this like
They
a
shouldn't be, like-
religious belief or?
Honestly, kind of. Like that they shouldn't be multiple sizes, like a 16-ounce latte. So that's a cool one down in California. And then the La Marzocco Cafe in Seattle,
Oh,
one of my
dude.
favorites. They switch roasters because of La Marzocco, one of the major like espresso machine producers here in the U.S. Their shop, they rotate roasters every month.
Oh,
so
dang.
every month they bring in a new roaster and sell their beans. So like great publicity for some of these roasters
That's
all
tight.
over the nation. So they got some really cool stuff and it's always changing.
I
which is
totally
really
forgot
fun.
about that. That
That's
place
super
was
cool.
awesome.
And then a one in Denver, Sweet Bloom. I've had some really good stuff from them.
Tight.
I'm done.
Cool. That's all over.
That's my
Daniel, you
list.
Dude,
got any?
Yeah, I mean, I love Vessel, but again, like a lot of these places are just for like the community aspect. So, Vessel's awesome in Daba, especially the one on Broadway. There's nice
Dude,
nice
and
outdoor
Dama on
seating.
Broadway is awesome.
That
really,
one's
really good.
definitely like my favorite in Daba.
I mean, I'm lame, but I even enjoy Starbucks because of
That's
just
not lame, man.
because of just the seating. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Dude,
it's
good
it's
place
great
to
for
meet.
hanging out with people, being with people. They make it pretty comfortable. There's lots of outlets to plug your computer in. Like really
Mhm.
practical. Like not even really going for the coffee, but those
I
are
much
kinda
rather
my
hang out with
places.
people
Yeah.
at even I love Revel, but I love seating at Starbucks more.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is
Right.
for me.
Good seating.
So
I give it to them.
Dude, we had some questions though. You guys asked some questions on our Instagram.
yeah.
We got some answers.
We
from
got
some
some
faithful
answers.
faithful followers.
So speaking of
Faithful.
places to buy coffee from, we asked you what your guys' favorite grocery stores, and we got some seriously good competitors in for the running of the best grocery store.
That's true.
So we got Winco,
Winco.
which is the single man's Costco.
Dude,
Yep.
phrase coined by Noah Ott himself. That blew my mind tonight.
Awesome.
That
So
is
accurate.
awesome.
You kind of have to put blinders on when you go into that store and just be focused.
Or else you're coming home with like 100 pounds of bulk
Candy.
blue sharks and
just
dude,
some
gummy bears.
weird
It's great.
mental images. There's some weird people that shop at Winco because it's cheap. I don't
Yeah.
blame them. But if you don't care, you can find some good stuff there.
Same
Dude.
goes with Grocery Outlet. That's up on
Dude,
the list there.
yes.
Ooh, grocery outlet is
They've
like
got some killer deals.
borderline sketch, but also
It's not
great.
borderline.
Really good,
It's
really good
really
deals.
awesome.
Really good deals. Like half price on normal stuff. I think normally it gets like hit or damaged or something, and it goes to grocery outlet, and then
Yeah.
they
Yep.
sell it for cheaper. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
good.
Harvey's Harvest Food.
That's like a
Because-
Dude.
Spokane.
The Spokane
Local.
Valley.
Dude, Paul
Yeah.
Smith sent that one in, and we were confused. He said Barney's Harvest Food, and he said because it's got a hardware store inside of it.
This is a
So,
true
like,
story.
No, duh. Paul Smith would think that that's the coolest.
No,
grocery
You
it
store
can
is.
go
ever.
get some ice cream bars and some fresh produce
And a hammer
and
and
a freaking
nails.
jackhammer
The
at the
jackhammer?
same place.
That's
or
the
a
coolest.
weed
That's the
whacker.
coolest store
Like,
ever.
those-
Okay, my favorite. The next one, we had two people said pretty much the exact same thing for Trader Joe's, and their reasoning was because of the snacks.
The snacks.
The snacks.
Then we
It's
got
so true. There's
mine.
dude,
Mine that's in
Scandinavian
here.
swimmers.
Those are good.
Those are bomb.com.
Mine that's in here for the running is Yolks at Foothills.
Dude,
I've
Yolks-
never been into a more aesthetically pleasant grocery store. Besides, like, I mean, My Fresh Basket is like just crazy fancy.
That one doesn't.
But
Yeah.
That one's like its own.
it kind of doesn't
Kind
count
of its
because
own
it's
entity
insane.
in its own world. Yeah.
But Yolks at
classic, though.
Foothills is just
Dude,
very nice.
I live right by that one. It's beautiful.
It's so nice inside.
So nice to go to.
So, thank you for favorite coffee store submissions this week. Please
Grocery store.
send
Grocery store,
in.
yeah.
Grocery store. What I meant is that this week we want you to send in your favorite
Yes.
coffee shop. So hit us with your
Ooh.
favorite coffee shop
Give us those recommendations.
recommendations. It can be from, please, if it's from another country, we want you to like
We want
email
to
us
know.
even
Drop.
more.
Another state, another city,
Yes.
literally anywhere.
Far
Doesn't have to
away.
be Spokane only. It could be where you live, where
Wait,
you're
guys.
listening from.
On that note, listeners, on that note, we Logan has a really cool ability to kind of look at the demographic of the different people who listen, like where they listen, like where they're from, kind of like age ranges and stuff. I don't quite know how it works, but we see like dots like in Alaska, in like UK, in Ireland, in Germany. Like we don't know who you are, and we want to know.
Spokane,
And
oddly
in
enough.
Spokane, wait, what? Not Spokane.
People want to listen to us.
Right. So like if you're any of those people, like we would like just go crazy if you reached out and just like told us who you were, and like if any ideas you have for the podcast, or like something that would speak to you in like your completely different area, walk of life, like that would be awesome. So
Let's get some song drops in here. We're running a little
Alright.
bit long.
Yeah.
We
Dude,
apologize.
So we got
Sorry,
a
guys.
double drop.
Double drop.
Oh.
Mine for this week.
can we just call it a deuce, please?
No.
Deuce? No.
No.
Okay, double drop.
Just a double drop.
I just had to
double
throw it out
drop.
there. You gotta try stuff every once in a while, guys. Just try it.
We're going deuce, man.
Double drop. Hit me with it.
Double deuce?
So
Double drop.
my drop is Bygone by the Volcano Choir. I've been vibing to it. It's basically about a bunch of guys that are just going to go sailing out in a storm, and they're hyped on it.
My song drop. It is called Running Out of Love, featuring Tori Kelly by Jacob Collier. One of my favorite musicians with one of my favorite vocalists. Tori Kelly's voice could make me cry. I might have cried listening to one of her songs one time. Her voice is just so good. And Jacob Collier is a phenomenal musician. And that's for another podcast. But
We could podcast about that dude
another day.
another time because he blows my
Another-
mind.
It's a great song, and it grooves and slaps.
Sweet.
Song drop.
So there's a song drop for you guys. Hit us with that.
Them coffee shops.
Yes.
Them coffee shops on our email.
Them listens.
We have an Instagram now, Steep in the Stoke, spelled just like the podcast. So
And the
follow us
email.
there.
We'll be asking questions there. That's kind of maybe a more fun way to answer.
Anyway, love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy your cup of Joe,
Cup of Joe.
and
Enjoy the bean
Yeah.
juice.
It's
enjoy
good
the
having
bean juice.
Coby in.
Dude,
Thank
yeah,
you for
Coby.
joining us,
he
my
will
man.
be back, and that is
Oh,
without
yes.
a doubt.
Without a doubt.
All right,
All right.
Sweet.
That's a pod.
that's a pod. Thanks for listening, guys.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Now we say deuces.
Deuces.
Take
Deuces.
care.
Deuces.